All right, so this is a recording on how to create an income statement. So we are learning financial statements for a proprietorship. The first thing I want you to do is write your name and the date on the worksheet. The goal is to learn how to create an income statement, which is one of the financial statements. In this space below, in your own words, I want you to define what an income statement is. Then I want you to pause the video until you get that done. Here is the definition of an income statement. I want you to write it somewhere in the notes, maybe in the top margin on top of your name. You write, income statement is one of the financial statements that shows expenses and revenue for a fiscal period, and this covers a period of time. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you what an income statement looks like when it is completed. This is what an income statement looks like before you do anything to it. So it is a bunch of blank lines. What I want us to do now is take a look, and then we always do this. What do you see? I want you to pause the video and write down, what do you see? All right, so this is what we see. Each accounting form always has the name of the business. There is always the title of the form. Then there's always the time period in which the form is for. This is for the business hair care salon. The title of the form is income statement, and the period of time is for month ended. As you can see, revenue, if you go over, there is nothing there. So this is the classification that is written first, and then any accounts that the business had for sales, because some companies have more than one, would be written here, and then the amount is written here. As you notice, there is no debit and credit here written at all. It's just assumed that we know that the right side is the credit and the left side is the debit. After you've written down all your sales accounts, then you go and you write down all the expense accounts. Then you write the amounts. Once you've done all of that, you total the expenses and write it here. Always calculate. Then it explains the net income. You probably notice that there are percent of sales, and we are going to learn that in a second. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this format. We are going to use the financial information that is from the worksheet. The income statement section, and we are going to create an income statement based on the financial information given here. We are going to call this business Bob's Burgers. We are doing the accounting for January 30th, 2021. So in order to start this, you are going to write the name of the company. You are going to put the title of the form, which I have put for you. It is an income statement. And then we are going to write the time period for month ended January. You tell me how many days are in January. Is it 30 or 31? If you don't know, look it up. The next piece, we know from looking at it before, we write in the word revenue and we put a semicolon. Nothing is written here. Then we go through and list the revenue accounts. We will indent sales. According to the worksheet, the business sold $5,820 worth. You write the sales there. Then we are going to list all of our expenses. Again, expenses, semicolon. Then you are going to list all the expenses and the amounts that are listed here. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. Go ahead and write advertising expense, $397. Cash short and over, $1. Communication expense, $80. Equipment rental expense, $1,455. Insurance expense, $150. Miscellaneous expense, which yes, you can abbreviate, $45. Supplies expense, $530. We are not going to have enough lines. Add a line at the bottom. Total expenses, take out a calculator, add your expenses. Total expenses are $2,658. Net income, notice that it is flush. You take sales minus expenses. $3,162 is the owner's net income of Bob Burgers for month ending January. The next thing I'm going to show you how to do is what's called a vertical analysis. A vertical analysis gives anyone who's looking at the financial information just some extra information. So if you're looking at percent of net sales, this top number will be 100% if there is net income. This could possibly be larger if there is a loss, and we will talk about that later. In order to get the figures that you need to be able to analyze whether the business is doing well, what banks and external users and even internal users look for. They look for an expense ratio. An expense ratio is a percent of sales to expenses. So they want to know, okay, how much money did it take to make this amount of sales? To do that, you take your total expenses and divide it by your sales. When you do that, you are going to get a decimal point format. So you're getting 0.4567. Accounting does everything to the 10th. So to turn this into a percent, it would be 45 point. Since this is a 6 and this is a 7, we have to round up. 45.7% is the percent of expenses to sales. So that means 45% of your costs. Now they want to know how much income to sales. What is the income to sales ratio? So how much money did you make after your expenses to how much you sold? To do that, you take 3162, divide it by the 5820. 3162 is your net income. 5820 is your sales. You are going to come up with 0.5432. Move your decimal over 2 places. This is a 2. You don't need to round. 54.3. You put that in your net income to sales column. These two figures done to the 10th percent then must equal the 100%. So you check yourself. And we've got the 100%. All right, this is how we do it. This is everything you need. When you go to do the next one, the income statement, which this is the at-home work. You're going to do it for Plumbing Solutions, and we're doing it for February 28th of the current year. Here is your income statement section of the worksheet. Here is the income statement that you are going to create, and then don't forget to put your vertical analysis. Please see me if you have any questions.